name of the game for our two teams coming up next on the main stage, because if they don't, they are going home in the last major of the season, and it's way earlier than anticipated because both of these teams not only want to continue their journey, but making it into a Sunday. I mean, Snipe Down, that's everything. Talk about confidence, talk about, you know, hurting your pride. Not making it to a Champs Sunday, it hits different and in the worst way possible.
Yeah, I mean, for Optic today, this match is just the time for them to show everybody that what happened earlier this morning was a fluke, them just not being warmed up, and maybe a little wake-up call for them to put a little more effort in the mornings to show up, because tomorrow starts early too. And but for TSM, this is one of those moments where it's like, if you want to break past that barrier of where you have been with this team for the entire history of Halo Infinite, this is your moment to show everybody that you can win these types of series regardless of who you're up against. And after that last series, it raises some questions, but you know, it's win or go home here, so if there's a time to do it, it's now.
It certainly is. I mean, if there's any kind of advantage, I think taking, you know, Optic, considering they've had an incredible run, they've got buckets loads of advantages here, 4 of them as well being on that main stage. But I will say for TSM, one side of it, you're warm, at least, after a really good series on the main against FaZe. You hopefully can adjust on the fly, so you can pick apart the gameplay, what went wrong in those moments. It's fresh on the dome. You know what you need to do to clean up and hopefully make things happen here. I think, Tony, for me, the biggest, when I'm looking at the series overall, is playstyle. How do these two kind of match up against one another? Because I've seen Optic have to adjust multiple times here. They're kind of like a chameleon. Something I didn't see against Shopify Rebellion, unfortunately, which usually they can actually do that and button themselves up too, but it was very, very scrappy. So how are you feeling when you're looking at the two overall and their gameplay?
I think playstyle and stylistically, it's really tough for TSM. There's a reason why I say this like a mini Optic. It's because they have a very similar playstyle, and it's that Optic do what TSM do, just better. They're faster, they win their individual gunfights more, they're a little bit better on timing, so it's a really tough matchup for TSM. However, on the flip side of that, TSM, they're not going to back down for Optic, they're not scared. And on top of that, 2 majors ago, you upset this very Optic roster. You know you have the capability of winning. So even though, I'll be honest, the stats, the game types, the map modes don't lend in your favor, we know how strong Optic are in the lower bracket. TSM, what do you have to lose? Show me what you got.
Yeah, that really is the biggest question. I think, you know, since Optic also dropped down, I do feel like their resilience is starting to kind of creep through and show, and they know they have to step it up. I think that's honestly been the key to it the past 2 times that they've done it and actually gone all the way. It's almost like they're almost a little bit too relaxed at the beginning of each of our majors, and then suddenly they just turn it on when it matters most, and it's like, well, is maybe that uncomfortable situation where they thrive? Do they thrive under this kind of pressure? I mean, that's really, truly where I'm at here in my head, because I don't understand how we are seeing switches flip like this, and suddenly it's a different roster.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for them, it's like they get their 2 losses out of the way early in tournaments. They're like, well, backs against wall, can't lose anymore. And I don't know if you saw when the video was on Formal's face, but he looked pissed. He looked so angry with what was going on, where they're at, and with how Renegade's been playing as well. Like, I can only imagine what that team is going through. Formal's got the comms, Renegade's listening, soaking in the information, and they have been looking like they've been on fire since that first loss to Shopify.
I'll tell you what, Optic, they're thriving currently down in the elimination bracket, falling early on. They've already had 2 games. They're bouncing back. TSM, this is their first dip in that pool, and it's a really, really bitey one, full of sharks, blood, gore, you name it. It's a tough one to be in, so you want to bounce back as fast as possible, but you've got to take down the green wall. It is time to go into game. Let's head on over to our casters to find out how our night is going to end. Will it be green? Will it be TSM? Who is going to come out our victor? On set and Bravo, it's over to you.
Well, for both these teams, it's going to be a very long day, Lottie, and we're going to have to find out who's going to be happier at the end of that long day. The elimination bracket run continues for Optic Gaming here. If they want to, of course, make it a championship Sunday, they've got to get through TSM here, who, interestingly, at the start of the tournament, we were talking about having to find a little bit of their fire again and be the team that causes the upset in the bracket.
Yeah, let's not forget, guess who TSM happened to face off in the TSM Pro-Am number 2 about 8 days ago? Optic Gaming, who won that series TSM 3-2. They also took down FaZe in that same tournament, reminding us that, yes, these are online results, but let's not forget, TSM, as you say, they know how to show up in the season late. Question is, can they do it again here? This is an enormous series. Optic Gaming has looked good so far in their elimination bracket that you just heard the desk talking about, but now the question is, can they go up against their fiercest opponents yet in the elim bracket? It's TSM.
It's going to be an interesting game number 1 as well. It's going to be Strongholds that we start off on. And we're heading over to live fire by the looks of things. And that is certainly one of the faster paced game types that we have in the entirety of Halo Infinite. And perfect one to start off with, I think, for both teams. Both of them like the pace of this game. Both of them like the in-the-face nature of the fights that are going to be going down. And if you're TSM, one thing that I'll give you for free when it comes to advice, stop Renegade getting that sniper rifle.
I mean, how good has Renegade looked this event, and specifically day 2? I mean, and that just tells you how special he is today, because we were always talking about Renegade as one of the best players in the game. But today he has unlocked a new tier. He's going to be looking to bring that to this series as well.
Well, a chance at Championship Sunday awaits one of these teams. For one of them, it will be the end of the event in the last major before Worlds. Optic Gaming versus TSM is where we find ourselves now in the elimination bracket. And early on here, Optic Gaming playing for the ends of the map with an AC hold.
Let's not forget, TSM, 4 dead off the break. Taulek, your first spawner here in back tower. We'll need to wait for a little bit of help or try to isolate a 1v1. And Formal's very happy to let the team clean up the damage that he had already done. It's a very early lead here for Optic Gaming.
Oh. I tell you what, Lqgend had every right to be frustrated had that not gone his way. But luckily, the forces that be decided that that kill wouldn't be traded and he wouldn't have any problems, and he'd keep the camo as Optic keep hold of this triple cap. It has been a perfect start for them. 55 points and rising, and Lqgend now using that camo to pick up at least 1 kill, turns it into a double. 2 dead for TSM once more.
Really nicely done. Renegade needs to hit that shot to stay alive. Eventually he'll be taken down, but it's a momentary 1v2 on the map. Formal last player alive. He will get sandwiched out, but not taken down.
Yeah, he gets the remote detonation. He fires onto those grenades that spawn just in front of where Druk found himself, and off the back of that kill and the conversion and hold of B, Optic not only scoring, but this man on your screen, a little Frenchman called Lqgend, has found himself a sniper rifle.
Also got to say, look at Formal off the opening 5-1. There's been a lot of talk about Formal and exactly what form he will bring to this event as well as the World Championships. A lot of people saying, you know, there's more to him. Maybe we'll see S-tier Formal. It's a great start in this game from him.
Lqgend narrowly missing a couple of shots on players trying to flood out the big door towards B here for TSM. That's going to be their play call. That's the stronghold that they want to take back. And by the looks of it, with no players falling, they're going to be able to. So they just overwhelm Optic, who now try and flip the map and play for A.
Really nicely done. By the time that you've woken up, Lqgend has done 16 laps around live fire, by the way. And just incredible movement to make sure he rotates all the way back, and they will flip now. It's going to be an A-B hold momentarily as C will flip.
Yeah, SoulSnipe's just done a phenomenal job, by the way, at the back of B. Yeah. He won an individual fight that had to be won to keep B in the control of TSM, stop it being flipped by Optic, and having control of C already means that TSM will continue to score here. It's going to be slow and steady with just the 2 cap, but it is points on the board. Now they look like they're pushing for that trip cap.
Yeah, let's see if they can get it. They will start to scoring, so even though it's a substantial Optic Gaming lead at 119-38, a momentary trip cap, that'll be interrupted by what looks to be an easy C regrab coming in. But Lqgend now with a big opportunity to make sure they get in control of the game yet again.
I think Lqgend's first job here is to keep control of C by the looks of things. Formal going to be playing for that new sniper rifle that's coming up. Lqgend gets 1. Can he get out of this without being traded?
Wow. He does.
Manages to just about do so, and now he can turn his attention to bottom middle, where Taulek has already had a couple of shots into his back, and just about manages to turn that into a kill for himself.
As you say, Lqgend taking the choice there to come out of cuts and make sure to force that 1v1. It looked like a scenario where he might have been taken down, but able to isolate himself into 3 consecutive battles now. However, do note the scoreboard. It was 119-30, now it's 119-73. Substantial time on the board throughout that hold from TSM.
Stronghold's live fire, one of those games that kind of you take certain moments of the game that feel like a minute or so passes where you can't get a point on the board, but you have to keep in mind that it is a swingy kind of game type where you can put 100 points on the board very, very quickly. You're never really out of it in Strongholds, and I think the live fire is the perfect kind of illustration of what can happen should you stay in the game.
Past few minutes was a Lqgend 1v1 simulator, and he didn't get taken down once. Unsurprising to see, and even though we see a little bit of extra time from Optic Gaming on that last hold, will be a brief AB hold interrupted immediately and answered back. Can Renegade pick up this one? Finally, Manny wins it, but they are 2 down. We'll need to be careful here as they try to reset and flip C.
Looks like TSM are trying to make a play onto C at the moment. Damage is coming in though, doesn't get the trade onto Formal, who'll win that fight and steps into the stronghold. to turn it back into the control of Optic Gaming. AB the hold at the moment. Once again, that drip, drip, drip of points is going to go the way of Optic with his 2-cap. As they cross the 150-point mark here.
Nicely done. Look at Formal. Just QT's back, even leans back and screen watches to call out the player, and then he QT's back in the action when he feels ready.
4 dead for TSM as well, and Optic are starting just to take control and a little bit of a stranglehold on this game. It's going to be a triple cap as TSM will be spawning over towards A. Eyes on the camo for Lqgend and Formal, just trying to stop any players off of the spawn, making progress towards where that power-up's going to be. Now for TSM, it's a difficult decision. You play for this power-up, do you try and focus on Optic's attention being over here to steal away a stronghold instead?
So much to admire on the Optic Gaming side of the stage right now. 3 dead yet again for TSM. And take a look at Lqgend. He is 10-2.
Oh.
Formal also 8-6 with 9 assists. Lqgend will add a camo to his tally and likely some kills as well here.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not just Optic's 3rd camo. I think it's Lqgend's 3rd camo of the game, and this was something we were highlighting a little bit earlier. Optic struggled just a little bit with their power-up control.
They were.
In some of the series that we had been watching, but this one, flawless so far.
Tough to say, but 5x positive at this stage of the game is Lqgend, which is a number you shouldn't really be saying on the HCS main stage. But as you say, when you've got 3 camos and the skill that he has, as well as the teammates, making it look easy here. He will get 11. Renegade, by the way, 12-7 as well.
Not many mistakes left in this game for TSM. 200 points already on the board here for Optic Gaming, and TSM with 3 in the death screen momentarily, and now going to surrender another sniper rifle over to Optic, and Renegade, well, he's going to go hunting.
And Mark, you made such a great point earlier that even when Optic was in a limb round 1, and they were getting their kind of tested early on, every game that Optic Gaming plays in the elimination bracket, they seem to look better and better.
An evil laugh just appeared from me there. That was a bit weird, but understandable with a shot hit by Renegade. B going to be controlled by Optic Gaming in a few seconds' time as the bodies start to drop, thanks to the reticle of Renegade. Optic get B, they get C, and they continue to score, and now they're on the road home.
Man, just holding this angle as well. You can't. They're afraid to even go sandbags because they know it's just risky. Gonna try to go big door here, but Taulek gets punished for doing so. 2 dead. SoulSnipe knows that the pillar door is not going to be the safest spot. Excellent map control coming in from Optic. Renegade will hit the body again, and they still have 2 dead.
TSM just can't get on the map, and with 25 points, all that's needed here for Optic Gaming to close out game number 1. A couple of body shots from Renegade should be enough, as Formal will find the first pick once more. Desperation time here for TSM. You've got to go, and you've got to go now.
Manny trying to peek, but Renegade's happy to just scurry away, because guess what? 243 points on the board! Oh, that hurt. Man, Renegade, he's going to take you with you. That is what he'll do at the end. Could be a B hold. Could be the last few points if they pressure B correctly here.
And Manny's going to make a goal play here at B, and he's not going to be allowed to. 2 players from Optic Gaming will secure that. Druk the only hope, and I don't think he's close enough to this stronghold. Optic Gaming will close out in a dominant fashion in game number 1, 250 to 114.
And Optic Gaming, as we said, if you're a TSM fan, you're hoping that maybe TSM can catch Optic maybe a little bit tired late on Saturday. That's not the case in game number 1 at all. Optic looking so strong. Final score of 250 to 114, but really, most notably, it was all about the big stats coming in from the side of Optic Gaming. Let's take a look at a few of those.
Yeah, one just to highlight here. I'm pretty sure the Formal had most damage on Optic Gaming, even though the stats, you look at the KD ratio, maybe actually with the assists does kind of indicate that as a story. Renegade cleaning up a lot of that damage alongside Lqgend, who ends up going 13-5 in game number 1.
I mean, ridiculous numbers. And we're kind of seeing really evenly spread across the team as well in terms of the distribution of stats over these past few games. Renegade's popping off, but as you say, not far behind him are the teammates in other categories. An impressive game number 1 for Optic, not showing too many signs of weaknesses really throughout the game whatsoever.
I mean, the game is made a lot easier as well when you've got every single camo, when you're being able to get your hands on that sniper rifle, put it in the hands of Renegade. Optic really didn't make too many mistakes in that game number 1. Everything was buttoned up, which was something we were just talking about in the series we watched previously against the Cave Esports. It's very easy in a series like that to just formulate a couple of bad habits, but doesn't look like that's the case, and Formal's feeling very comfortable on the main stage.
Doesn't even have to look. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, by the way, fantastic work from the replay team to note that as well. Just, it's beautiful. The fact that he's able to just abuse the QT that way, right? Get out of the battle, He leans back. I think he dried his hand off for a second too. And just makes the call out, then can go back. That's not the only time that we saw that, by the way. Just really casual kind of QT and screen peeking. 250 to 114 is your final score in game number 1. Optic Gaming puts the first brick in the wall. And next up, Slayer Recharge.
Now this has been somewhat of a concern for Optic Gaming this game type when we've looked at the results of SLC, when we've looked at some of the online tournaments and the build up to this. It's been a weaker game type for them, and certainly one that, as we always talk about and as we always know, just gives you a chance if you're the team who's coming into this game with a lower seed. So for TSM, this is a chance to tie things up, but I also think it's more of a chance for Optic to prove to us that they are going to run through this elimination bracket in some style. You make a statement in this game number 2, go 2-0 up, and those fans on the front, they're going to be smiling.
Yeah, they're here for a reason, to see the green wall make history yet again. That's what they're hoping to see, and as we said, the green wall has placed 2 of those series bricks in the elimination bracket. Their 3rd already of the day is what they're looking for here. One thing I want to note about Slayer Recharge, it is historically a strong game type for TSM. Let's not forget TSM actually taking down FaZe in this game type, and also taking down FaZe in multiple Recharge game types as well. They are very comfortable on this map, and you can bet that if TSM could have selected a game number 2, it's very likely it would have been Recharge.
Yeah, we've seen them really hit some impressive shots with that shock rifle as well, and if they can get the power weapon in their hands, then they've got the ability to hit a couple of skulls and really put the pressure back onto Optic. But you can't kind of have that conversation without highlighting the players on Optic and the fact that they can do exactly the same thing should they be given the opportunity. Game number 2 is live here. Optic are up by 1. TSM need to answer back.
And what a story it would be, by the way, as we start things off with Formal. Able to get the assist off the break. It's going to be 2 dead for Optic. Momentary man advantage, but Renegade's the one who comes away with the camo. But specifically, and now also the shot. This could be dangerous. Let's stay with this before I get into that talk.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier we have officially entered spooky season. And Renegade is a perfect indication of how spooky the world can get for TSM. Found one head immediately, and TSM just trying to play the back of blue, which is pretty smart. Because if Renegade pushes and they spot him, or even fires a shot, they're going to have some angles.
Doesn't check his immediate corner there.
Peekaboo.
Almost doesn't have to. We'll see if he's going to jump right back up. They're trying to, as you say, wait out the camo. Here he comes.
Druk spots him. It's just a body shot. That's a back smack though from Renegade. Takes down Taulek and survives.
Wow.
And even though the camo has disappeared, shock rifle's still in his hands.
Man, somehow gets away with that. Still has the grapple as well in case he needs to get out of dodge or maybe close the gap a little faster. He's going to do both. He finds another one. All sorts of players dropping right in front of him, somehow still alive. A narrow lead here, 7-5.
Yeah, just need a little bit of help from teammates there. A couple of kills actually picked up by TSM off the back of the flank coming in from Renegade. So pretty good job from TSM actually, considering they haven't had shock and they haven't had camo, to keep this just a 2-kill game.
I agree. Renegade feel like he got a lot of free peeks and even got away with that back whack on top Cat, which felt like a little bit of a freebie given the circumstances. But in the end, TSM, as you say, a lot to be proud of because they kept it really close here. Still just a 2-kill game.
Yeah, Lqgend certainly didn't get that back smack in game number 1 that Renegade was generously given.
Or the second.
Maybe a little bit of karma for the Optic Gaming lineup after that one. Renegade now using that grapple to re-engage with SoulSnipe, who wouldn't have had the timing. So imagine that Renegade could have been there with the double kill and another player in front of him. Renegade outputting all kinds of damage here across the map.
Tries to get that kill there. Surprising. I didn't feel like he had the map composition for a team to finish a kill bottom elevator. So I think Renegade was trying to actually go just full Renegade and win that 1v1 or at least get a trade in the end. Doesn't get traded out. So as a result, the game is going to stay close here at 9-7.
A bit of a standoff between the two teams. Kind of a traditional 50-50 split on the map, which usually does result in trades as players try and push across the map. A player who's come out of the situation pretty successful is going to be SoulSnipe though. He finds that next camo, so it's one apiece here. Optic got the first, TSM will respond by grabbing the camo. That pops up second.
Let's see exactly what SoulSnipe does here. This is a big moment, all tied up at 11, and finds 2 players.
Takes one down, but gets traded out immediately, but TSM are there to make sure that that damage is converted. 1 kill. Now the difference between the two teams, but it's TSM with this slender 1-kill advantage. And just as I say that, oh no, well I was right. 14-13, we find ourselves with just 1 kill between the two.
Optic Gaming does very well to make sure that camo is kept at bay and they don't get away with even more damage there. Down by just 1 here. Let's get into a listen in with Optic Gaming.
Enemy still, simple enemy.
I'm going
Red steps, red steps.
I'm
Go red steps. Try back up, back step there. I'm shooting one. Okay, back lane,
I'm getting out with this shot.
Two go.
Yeah. You're dead, Matt. Yeah, one's probably.
Let man die. Let man die.
Shot, grapple. Nice, man.
Last one.
Just up against.
Here, red steps, two.
Red steps, absolute red steps. Absolute red steps. One bullet.
Red steps, I put it again.
Okay.
Up, going commando.
Where are you
Commando,
at?
gas. Just let John.
Sometimes you're gonna get pinched.
Watch the C jump.
Try watch the jump. Just text.
Yeah, he killed me.
Where's text?
He has shock.
Try watch my red.
We have help.
One. Watching your Chris.
Yo, glass right now.
I can fight glass for Jen. Are you ready, Jen?
No.
Okay.
No,
They have a shock.
I'm going up 40.
Stop there.
Go.
I'm going long.
He's glass.
Let's do here.
Too long. I can't. Back up there.
He's one shot glass.
Up there, watch it.
Got one.
One's back cell, Matt. I switch games. Above you, Sticky.
One shot on me, Druk.
Sorry.
I heard you, man.
You can see
We're
where I
watching
have
every
you.
match.
Watch the game.
Long on me.
Long on me.
Go wave.
Camo, guys. 15 seconds.
Look
Camo.
at Matt. 1 sec. Yo, on your jump, Matt. You see left.
Camo's coming, guys.
Sticky. He's dead.
Bottom mid.
Yo, C-Surge, bottom mid. C-Surge weak.
He dies at Camo soon, guys. 5 seconds.
Bottom here.
Watch your bottom, yeah?
On the stairs, one.
Yeah, one shot on the steps.
I'm watching you push. I have to push. Don't worry. We can
Bottom mid.
He's finishing.
Shady. Manny, one shot scaling.
As we come out of the Optic listening, we now turn our attention towards the camo. One thing that I just noticed that might have been initially frustrating Optic was a couple of one-shots from TSM just kept slipping away, but with that 4 dead and potentially a camo going their way in the hands of Formal, this could be Optic flipping the lead back into their advantage.
Very, very key kills coming in there just before the camo popped, and for Bound to get 2 of them without trading was massive. Now all tied up at 25-25.
TSM are terrified. Formal with his camo is putting so much pressure on them. He's got support as well from Renegade, finds another. But TSM, again, just really showing resilience when they don't have this power up to trade these kills out.
I agree. I mean, the fact that Formal gets that nade on the fadeaway is really nice, but still, I agree. TSM is playing this really well defensively.
Taulek takes some damage, Manny and Taulek with no shields, but again, just escaping. Optic are trying to chase them down here, can't quite find the kills. Manny versus Formal, but there's SoulSnipe covering his teammates back, making this difficult.
Oh, double SoulSnipe, last player alive. It's a 1v1 momentarily for just a second, and we're tied up 30-30. What an even battle there. And Optic Gaming, yet again, cannot convert because TSM counters and has the patience to shut down the camo yet again.
Shock rifle available on the map as well. And with a 4v4 scenario and every single gun up on the map, gonna have to be a brave man unless you've got a grapple to try and grab that off the stand at the moment. SoulSnipe trying to control glass here, trying to get some damage onto Formal. Can't quite connect with that headshot though. And now he's gonna be swarmed by 2 players from Optic, but still manages to find 1.
I was gonna say, if you have a Legend or Renegade coming at you on glass and you manage to trade out, it's a pretty big deal. 3 will fall. Formal trying to get a few extra kills in pipes, but eventually push back.
Just doesn't connect with either of those headshots. Druk got away, SoulSnipe survives. And that means TSM now have a 1-kill advantage. 5 minutes left on that game clock. And we're starting to turn our attention towards bottom middle once more. Renegade finally will get his hands on that shock rifle. With TSM losing 2, and players weak at goal. It's time for Renegade to put the big numbers up as TSM will be 4 dead.
Wow, 4 dead, and just like that, look at the swing. With the 4 dead, it's just a narrow 2-kill lead for Optic Gaming. They needed that. And surprise, surprise, it's Renegade 14-7 in a game that they lead by 2.
And now TSM are a little bit pinched and trapped at the back of blue, and Renegade staring down the sights of this shock rifle will be able to hold them off as that camo pops up bottom middle. Lqgend has gone down though, and Taulek has managed to find a way to punch a gap.
There's going to be a camo trade here, yes. However, a kill gets exchanged by Formal with a nice flank. Control! Formal's going to sniff him out! Manny cannot get away, and Formal comes in with the eagle eye. That kill is worth much more than the sum of just its parts on the scoreboard.
And Renegade still with his shock in his hands now. Might have a target-rich environment to go to work on. Taulek gets bodied. Formal looks for the challenge to clean it up. Can't quite get it though. And again, TSM just staying in it. It feels like all of the ingredients are here for Optic to go on a 3-4 kill run, but TSM somehow keeps squeaking these trades out.
Remarkable. And the stick again! Like clockwork, 41-40, still just a 1-kill game. I could not agree more. The resilience that has been displayed by TSM has been incredible to keep this game within 1 all the way to the 41 kill mark.
Keeping it close is one thing, though. If you're TSM, you have to win this game. You have to put the pressure back onto Optic after that game 1 loss that they suffered. Game almost slowed down to a standstill now. Just 9 kills for Optic, 10 needed for TSM to take this game away. 10 seconds till that next shot.
How does TSM play this? Kills exchange there at 42 to 41. TSM has done so well so far, but they're going to need to change something, right? They cannot just keep this close. We need to see a lead change here. Here comes Taulek.
Big damage. Legend stays alive inside of that Shroud. Legend still alive inside of that Shroud. And TSM will lose 2. Optic Gaming go up by 2.
Felt like a big all-in there that wasn't exactly timing coordinated on the push from TSM. I'm not going to lie. There was a big opportunity there, but they do not capitalize.
I don't know how Legend stayed alive in that, to be honest. The Shroud went down and he just went missing. TSM could not finish that kill off. Allowed the help to come in. The cavalry arrived for Optic, and that's the difference between the 2 teams. Shock Rifle popping up as well.
Look at this. About to be a 1v1 top alley.
SoulSnipe, he's caught reloading.
Man.
Simple job for Bound to finish that off, and now we are seeing the biggest lead of what feels like the last 2 or 3 minutes. And with Renegade connecting with that Shock Rifle, now it's just 3 to go for Optic.
My God, 48 on the board. Renegade, by the way, 20 and 11 with just 2 kills to go.
He's dropping 20s. I mean, the numbers at the moment this man is putting up are absolutely astronomical in this elimination bracket run. Manny will find one to put just a touch of pressure onto Optic.
Ooh, Taulek's going to be very happy he did not get a haircut there. It's still just a 3-kill game, and with 149 left, TSM can formulate a break here. It's going to be very difficult with Formal with Shock, but let's see how this plays out. Formal, of course, with the game in his hands.
Almost to a crawl.
Oh, with the camo.
TSM and Druk have a chance.
Here they come.
But you cannot trade these kills out, and Druk knows this. He's trying to do damage, but Renegade gets one. That's going to be 49. And now Druk is just trying to run around, survive as much as he can. SoulSnipe and Manny found a couple, but no deaths can be given up now by TSM, or Optic will take this one home.
And camo's out. They might have even seen it dissipate, which would be big info. And that's it.
Formal gets the final kill with that Shock Rifle. And Optic Gaming up by 2 now. The elimination bracket dream continues here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And with 1 game, all that's required for Optic to stay alive, they find themselves up 2-0.
It feels like there is a timer. Once Optic Gaming enters the elimination bracket, you have a limited window to take games from them. And that gap will shrink more and more and more as the tournament goes on. 50 to 47 is your final score, but it is really the story of Optic Gaming winning the game around the 44 kill mark. As we saw, they went up 46 to 42. And it was that big swing and big plays from Bound that ensured that they won the game. And I'm not gonna lie, we have to look at Renegade 21 and 13. Once again, in a game that they only win 50 to 47. This man is doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
I would love to know what his KD is in this elimination bracket so far, because we've been fortunate enough to watch and cast a lot of the Optic games as they've been working their way through that elimination bracket. And boy, let me tell you, Renegade has been Renegade when it comes to some of the stats he's been putting up.
It really has. It's as I said, there's only a few times where we've kind of freaked out this much about Renegade's gameplay because we're used to such a high ceiling and once again a high floor for him as well. You very rarely see bad games from Renegade. Maybe just not pop-off games. Instead, he's just popping off every game.
Yeah. It's giving me kind of chills, to be honest with you, because it's very reminiscent of what we saw at the first event of the year, the Optic Major, where Renegade dragged, it felt like, Optic Gaming through that elimination bracket. And he's doing everything the Green Wall can ask of him. Now, don't get me wrong, other players certainly contributing for Optic, but you have to acknowledge the standout performance of Renegade here.
I mean, nearly, as we said, just shy of double positive in a 50-47. It's unbelievable.
Outrageous.
He keeps doing it, and the question, I guess, is, will it stop? Right now, no indications of slowing. This is your series so far. And now, Optic Gaming returns to Forbidden CTF, which has been historically quite a dramatic game type when it comes to drop slides from the Rat. sewers onto the flag stand. Might see some dramatics of that fashion here again. We can certainly hope so, but Optic Gaming now poised, only one game away from 3-0ing TSM here and sending them home.
You have to wonder on the other side of the stage how much that loss just took out of TSM though, because it's so close. They did so well so many times to trade those kills when it felt like Optic were just squeezing those last few moments into their favor, and to lose it in the way that they did. They get a chance, but they don't close out. When you're down 1-0, you know, fair enough.
Yeah.
But in a game 2, if you can tie it up, you squeak that game out, all of a sudden you think we're in a series here. But down 2-0 with 3 games to go and getting so close, but ultimately so far to taking that game. It's going to take some stern words of encouragement from your teammates and the coach behind you just to make sure that you don't let this one go away without a fight.
Exactly. I think luckily for TSM, they've been here before. They've put together, I mean, historic late season runs. Also, let's not forget at events like the Halo World Championship, these guys have been playing together for a long time. And it's certainly possible for them to get back in this series. It's not going to be easy, but I agree. I think what happened in that game was TSM did so well to keep it close, but never did they have anything more than a 2-kill lead. Yeah. So when you're at the 41-40 mark, you're thinking to yourself, this doesn't need to just be the same we've seen from TSM. Something needed to change. And how about Bound also just wrapping the corner at the exact time SoulSnipe was reloading? It's things like that. It's the timing and the experience that came in from the Optic side to close out the late game. But Mark, I want to go back to what you highlighted as the very straightforward but very important key to success for TSM. They haven't not only not shut down Renegade, they've let him run absolutely wild on these first 2 maps.
Yeah, I mean, think of the POV of Renegade. Map number 1, he had the sniper more often than not. Map number 2, he had the shock rifle in his hands more often than not. And don't get me wrong, it's very difficult to, against a team like Optic Gaming, to time the kills and stop a certain player getting a power up when they're playing so heavily for him to get it in their hands. But the moments just haven't gone their way so far. And Lqgend looks like he's in a good spirits right now.
Smiles on his face, and always good to see if you're a fan of him.
It's always much easier to smile when you're winning games.
It is. It's also a lot easier to keep winning.
It looks very serious now.
Once you're winning.
You realize he got caught.
Yeah, he got caught.
Look cool. Sabri, look cool.
I thought you said "lay cool."
3 more.
Look cool in English. Impressive stuff from Optic Gaming, and even though they
went from looking really happy to absolutely terrifying.
was quite concerned.
Yeah.
Something must have been said down the side of the stage. Must have been on Bound's end of the stage. But I tell you what, this team looking so good, and anyone who was concerned about the wobbles, if you're just joining us, by the way, Optic Gaming fell victim to a mind freak series loss, a historic result for Australia and New Zealand. But Optic Gaming is looking to make that an exciting footnote for that continent, but otherwise something that is not remembered. If they put together another history-defining elimination bracket run, that would certainly be the case. And I tell you what, I think a lot of people's worries about those wobbles will have been resolved with what they've seen in the elim bracket so far.
Yeah, I just want to take a second while we're waiting to get in this game. So congratulations to Mindfreak, by the way.
Yeah.
Top 8, the best placement that the full ANZ team has ever had.
And had to reverse sweep to do that.
Had to reverse sweep to do that, and are still alive as well. So still have an opportunity to do something pretty crazy at this tournament. Phenomenal stuff from them. Still waiting for Barcode to do the shoey. He said the job's not done yet. Teammates are demons. I'm not doing a shoey. I think that was the tweet.
I think that was it too.
Might have paraphrased. Might have made it up. Either way.
Players now loading in. Getting ready to rock here. Going to be Fortress CTF as we said.
I am known to tell untruths from time to time.
Only here and there. Question is, TSM, can they ice up here? They know their tournament life is on the line in this game, and it will require something special to not only take this game, but to send this series the distance. But a lot of TSM fans around the world certainly hoping that they do exactly that.
I think we led this tournament with a story for TSM about how you have to do something to break through the ceiling that you found yourself in all year long. Well, you're down 2-0 to Optic. You've got to look at this as an opportunity to pull off something special that they have done before. As we head into game number 3, they've got to keep that in mind. They've got to keep the spirits up and force Optic to play the best Halo they have this tournament.
Exactly. This is a nothing to lose scenario, and I'm not going to lie, if you think about the 4 young guns on TSM, this is probably when they could have an opportunity to play the best. With nothing to lose against one of the best teams in the world, a team they've faced many times. Now our opportunity to show us what they have in the tank for this season.
2 dead here off the rip for Optic Gaming. A little bit of a trade going down. You can see players still kind of exchanging long-distance shots with sniper rifles. It's actually going to be taken into the hands of Manny here, who's going to collect it for TSM. Have to play a little bit of defense by the looks of things.
Trying to slow it down, and there's one thrust left. Oh,
that reaction time is illegal.
He did not have a lot of frames to catch Bound, and you could tell he was ready for the angle. Comms were there. He knew someone would be scurrying across the Mohawk if he hits this as well. Just a body initially, but will push Formal back as well.
Legend's got the sniper rifle on the other side of the stage for Optic Gaming. He just hit a little bit of a brainer. But Taulek gets that kill onto Renegade. Manny's still just positioning himself to not give an easy kill to the Optic sniper while trying to help out his teammates who are trying to create a little bit of space on this left-hand side. Moving up to the pistol now, and Formal challenging, and Renegade just behind him. He's going to have to be very, very careful of what happens here. It looks like his teammate's going to do a fantastic job of winning his ones. He comes in to join the second. Legend's still alive on the hub with the sniper rifle, but TSM are closing in on him, and Manny is running this flag.
Still 2 dead, staggered 3 dead, by the way, and he's got a thrust to play with as well. By the way, Renegade is 0-4. They have so far shut him down, but take a look at top middle. Bound could be trouble.
Yeah, Bound. One of the last players alive for Optic, but he got himself the overshield, so all of a sudden the good that TSM had done in the previous 15-20 seconds, they have to stop thinking about a flag cap and start thinking about Bound's position.
That was the gap. And Bound sneaks that overshield out. By the way, he still has overshield. Finally, it's dated off, but that was the gap. Bound gets that overshield when they were in a 2v4, and the flag was about to be pulled. And you really can't allow those gaps in the setups because that flag should be coming home right about now. Instead, we will stay here at 0-0.
Renegade looking to be aggressive on the TSM side of the map. He's going to be shut down. Druk now just dropping down into the swamps. Going to use the little branch jump up to top middle to re-engage and find a couple of extra positions. Druk now trying to find a way to convert the damage from his teammate SoulSnipe here. And Optic somewhat on the back foot. TSM have control of top middle. That's Bound. After picking up a kill himself, he's going to be taken down. Formal trying to get his hands on the Optic sniper.
Still amazed at the strength of that branch, by the way. The sniper will go into hands of Renegade, which isn't much better based on the way he's playing. He's 1-5 here, but he's going to get pressed. 2 dead. They have an opportunity to grab that snipe and get a flag pull again.
They do indeed.
Oh, pinched again.
Timing of those nades from Optic off the respawn, fantastic. Bound taking a lot of damage here from the sniper top middle, the SoulSnipe, but SoulSnipe not only takes down Legend from downtown, connects and almost converts a double into a triple. Renegade gonna slide and have the shields ripped away, but with the overshield coming up, SoulSnipe's only job here is to damage Optic players and stop them getting anywhere near contesting that power up.
That's a lot of damage indeed. They still keep 1 dead. Formal's in swamp though. That's going to be dangerous. They need to take out Formal. The overshield grab is going to be big as well, but 2 will fall, so he has to delay the push.
More guns on the map here for Optic Gaming than there are TSM, excuse me. The SoulSnipe finds 1. Optic chipping away, and the overshield almost gone now. It's map presence and map space that's being gained from this overshield eventually. But Optic again, taking their angles, being difficult kills, forcing TSM to burn that overshield.
And what a fight this has been. Amazing to watch so far in the initial moment because it's been consistent opportunities. Oh, wow, Manny just weaving in and out to make sure he gets that trade. Formal tries to do something similar, unable to do it now. That's going to be 3 dead for Optic, and TSM with another chance to maybe pull here. Renegade and Legend working together on back flag.
Yeah, Formal kind of got caught in an awkward thrust animation there. Almost looked like a professional wrestler diving off the top rope. A soft landing for him, it was not. Druk now takes a little bit of a flank through the rat tunnel. Teammates are falling elsewhere as Bound will find a kill onto Taulek.
Druk will have been called out here. You can tell Bound's kind of looking where he might be. It's good damage from Druk, but he needs to isolate and focus on a 1v1 in the back of the base here.
Bound doesn't know where he is though. And having seen where the position is, he thinks he can get the timing to run this. If his teammates do the damage and pick up the kills, like they are, then this could be TSM threading the needle and showing that you don't need the kills immediately. But if you get them on the way back and you stagger those spawns, then you can find yourself capping. TSM brilliant!
Wow.
As Druk will find that timing. TSM are up by 1.
Talk about the hard work that went into that flag cap. So much work, effort, and repeated rounds of slays. How about the awareness from Druk to do just enough damage that he waits and baits the flag? He goes Mohawk, he takes no damage. He flies back out, narrowly stays on the map, goes pillars. It's a really nice piece of flag running, supported by great slaying as well. Formal was in a dangerous position for the stop, and as you saw, Bound was top middle. That flag could have gotten stopped on the stand. Instead, it goes all the way home. And with half of the game played, it will be TSM leading 1-0.
The difference in this game is quite simple. Slays. Look at the difference in the slays between the two teams, with Manny getting the next overshield off the back of those slays. Optic, once again, are going to have to find a way to negate this. One way is, of course, to snipe him. That's all gone now. Optic. Renegade just so elusive. Manny frustrated. Renegade's still alive, by the way. Finally going to be dealt with, but Renegade just led him on a little bit of the merry dance there that allowed that overshield to be taken off by other Optic members.
And now I think an important note here for the side of TSM. In that Slayer, they could not continue to play the game they had played because they were trailing the entire time. However, because they now have this flag on the board, and because they've been the aggressors, they can play a little bit more conservative map control gameplay. Instead, for the past 7 minutes, they have had to continue trying to get a pull, of course, just to get a flag on the board. But now, with the one flag cushion, we could see them play a really dominant, just map control, only pull if the opportunity presents itself.
Trade. That's all you got to do. Trade, trade.
Exactly.
Make sure that you're not getting picked off, that the 1v1s are being kept to a minimum. And if they do present themselves, win them. Druk finds one. Druk will find, Taulek comes in to steal the second away, and Optic find themselves 3 dead. Druk now turns his attention to potentially a second flag.
I like this from Druk. He caused all sorts of trouble in the base last time, and this is exactly what you want to be doing. Especially at 1-0, this is much more comfortable, brings back Narrows vibes. You're just in your opponent's base, causing all sorts of trouble. In the end, he sniffed out, but he bought enough time for his team to push up right to the mid-map and at the enemy's doorstep at the top of main ramp.
Yeah, Druk essentially saying, come and get me. You're going to have to deal with me at some point. And Optic need to prioritize the flag over a player in their base. Overshield coming up now. 2 players, 3 players. Full for TSM. Formal has to wait for the shields before he goes for it. And it's actually going to be Renegade. Who else but Renegade? Who's going to get this overshield? Optic are shifting this flag. And now Renegade with 2 players trapped inside of the base. Make it 3 is causing enough of a ruckus for Optic to have a road to tie this game up.
And with 2 dead, this one will certainly go, and they got too much space. 1 by 1. I like the idea from Druk, but by being the first domino to fall in his base, that means Taulek is going to get pressed at the top of main ramp. Then he falls. Then guess what? You've lost top mid, you've lost the overshield, and it's a 4v2 overshield push for Optic Gaming. TSM not able to continue the map control we just discussed. Just like that, their lead is denied. We're tied 1-1 with 3 minutes left in regulation.
Scary moments here for TSM because Bound is flanking onto these spawners. And if he would have got away with that, the sniper rifles presenting themselves to all players on the map, that could have been real trouble. Potentially 2 sniper rifles, but they sniff him out. By the way, Bound having a fantastic game here. 17 and 13 for him.
Nice trade as well from Formal. And now we're back to all even, all squared, and we go back to the same style. The question is, who will get just the right timing on their aggression? TSM needs to be very careful not to let history repeat itself in terms of the way that they really crumbled on that last Optic flag run.
2 dead for TSM. Thrust going to be timed here off the respawn as well by Renegade, so he's going to have 3 of those to play with.
This is a big
Overshield
moment,
in
yeah.
20. Look at the line of sight he has. Look at the responsibility. And now he has to back up and give up that line of sight on Overshield, give up that line of sight on Snipe because he's getting pushed from the pistol side.
Smart routing from Renegade. If he tries to go hut there and isolate like a 1v1 no-scope angle, it's so dicey, so risky. Instead, he goes all the way back to flag. By the way, Overshield and Sniper, really the 2 focuses here in this exact moment. Overshield popping right now.
TSM are looking good in this push, by the way, forcing Renegade back. Lqgend does find a kill, and Formal finds the Overshield, so forget about the TSM push. It's now about the power that is held by Optic Gaming. Bound finds 1. Renegade is going to take on Manny in the back of the base, but the Overshield is melted.
And Manny gets a kill.
By 2 shots from downtown. Now Formal has to be careful on where he finds himself. As Manny has escaped, there's 2 snipes now for TSM.
What chaos caused by TSM. They looked like they were going to get pinched in Optic's base. Instead, Manny stays alive long enough for Formal to get bodied with the snipe. And now it's a 2v1 here against him. And this is getting mixy indeed. 1:23 left on the clock.
Renegade cleans up a kill. Taulek finds one. Formal versus Renegade. Formal versus Taulek, excuse me. And Formal will make a very smart defensive play in the last 20 to 30 seconds. Really good experience actually on show here by Formal. Knowing pressure was coming, could not afford to overextend and give his life away.
Druk tries to go back base yet again. That's the third time we've seen him attempt that move to try to just really be all the way behind enemy lines.
Oh! Maybe something like that is going to spark a bit of magic here for TSM. Ooh. Awkward. Mal, with the thrust, manages to avoid the 2 sticky grenades.
A little clunky, but tough to win that against Bound, even if he's not hitting the exact thrust that you need to. Bound flies right in and picks up that kill to flush him out. Now it's going to be a straight 4v4 with 30 seconds left.
These two teams just butting head halfway up the map at the moment. For the last minute and a half, 2 minutes, that's all this game has been. But Overshield is going to be coming up very soon. Formal's going to sniff out Taulek. And Lqgend finds a kill elsewhere. So Druk and Taulek, last 2 players alive for TSM.
Oh, gets the shot.
Gets the shot, help comes in from downtown. Renegade, so important he got that kill. Otherwise for Optic, Taulek was a problem.
Yeah, really nicely done. You can tell Formal showing him respect there. And Taulek gets a shot right before Taulek does. Means we're going to overtime, baby. Tied 1-1 after regulation.
Yeah, no time to use that overshield. Next flag will win in this game. We're heading to overtime. Optic Gaming need this game to go their way if they want to close this series out. To keep it alive, though, TSM need it even more.
Where does the overshield go? How often have we seen a long, drawn-out flag ended on the first rush at times? Keep an eye on this overshield play.
Renegade's getting aggressive here. He wants to find an off angle. He doesn't
There
need
it
to. Because Bound's already got the overshield in the hands of Optic. Even though the shock nades are going to spark and singe away at those shields, with TSM 2 dead and that sniper rifle potentially going over to Formal as well, it's a complete flip of the map here. TSM have 2 players respawning, but 2 inside the Optic base.
It's a base trade, 2v2 on the map. This could go either direction here. Keep an eye on the kill feed.
Manny finds one. This is such an edgy feeling. Overtime between the 2 teams. Formal finds one himself with that sniper rifle. Taulek tries to survive, cannot do so. Manny's still alive though. Alongside SoulSnipe. On the Optic side of the base, Formal's just found one.
What a death nade.
Renegade finds one as well. That was 3 dead for TSM, and SoulSnipe just had his shields ripped as well.
What is Renegade thinking here? He gets pressed on a back base spawn.
This game is a matter of pixels.
And you thought for a second maybe Renegade was going to have the timing window. He does not in the end. Things will reset. 3:40 left now in overtime. Both flags back at home.
Two dead for TSM here. Has to make this shot count, and he is. Optic 3 dead. It's a 1v1 momentarily on the map. SoulSnipe, he's going to get the pull. Taulek now moves up. Formal has the snipe! Taulek might have just made the difference here.
No, Bound gets a kill though. Bound stops the flag run. Bound gets a return as well, I think. He does, wow. Okay, you might have caught it there on the left side of your screen. Bound was alive on the backstage. So even though Taulek's hitting absolute brainers across the map, he just isolates the flag stop. And just like that, what felt like it could be a big TSM opportunity is shut down immediately.
You have to wonder if it's the right direction for TSM to run that flag.
Yeah.
They were spawning in the back of the base. They just got that kill on the snipe side. That's usually going to block that spawn. And by missing that opportunity, they've given one to Optic. Overshield in the hands of Renegade, even though there's only a few slithers left of this OS. He's using it effectively. He's flying in. TSM 3 dead momentarily. Shots coming in over his shoulders. Renegade is running this flag.
Look at this. He's going to hit every drop slide on the way as well. Flag is moving in pillars. He likely will have the timing window. He does. The flag will now go up rat.
Trades elsewhere. 2 dead for TSM. And in overtime, Optic Gaming and Renegade will be stopped short once again at the stand.
Where's Lqgend? Where is Lqgend? That's the question.
Lqgend's coming off respawn. That double kill from Formal should secure it, will secure it. And Optic Gaming will close out the series 3-0, but not without having a little bit of a flashback.
And I had a feeling that game type was going to deliver the theatrics. We got a little taste of it at the end.
A little bit.
You can't end that game type with Optic Gaming on the map without a little bit of last stand shenanigans. And it's great to see. For Optic fans, it will be a 3-0 with a well-fought, you gotta say, game number 3 from TSM. In the end, though, the only thing that will be recorded on the stat sheet is an Optic Gaming 3-0. They will advance on. They will send TSM home.
So TSM cannot, this time around, the last major of the year, break through that glass ceiling and make it to a Sunday. Optic Gaming continue to prove to us that day one means nothing for them and that day 2 and 3 are where they come alive. Still work to do for TSM in the lead up to Worlds, of course, which is where they've had some of their best performances historically. These 4 players. But for Optic, once again, you have to say the elimination bracket run, it's not ideal, it's not brilliant, but there's one man who seems to love it.
Yeah.
His name is Renegade.
They really do. I gotta also say, on the side of TSM, they were leading in each of those games, right? And I think when they go to VOD review, they need to remember that. TSM fans need to remember it too, because this was not a case of getting blown out by one of the favorites for the World Championship. This was a case of leading at least at one point in each of those games that they lost. So there's going to be a lot to look at. I think they have a lot to be proud of and to take a look at in terms of VOD reviews. But most importantly, as you say, it's Optic Gaming, and they continue on the elimination bracket run.
Yeah, still alive, Optic Gaming, which is, of course, what they wanted to hear at the end of this day after a difficult morning. And you've got to give them a lot of credit, actually, for the way that they've bounced back. A lot of teams, regardless of your pedigree, you lose to a team, with all due respect, like Mindfreak, it's not expected to happen, right? It's one of the biggest upsets we've ever had in Halo history. A team coming through the open bracket and beating the #1 team in pools and going on to score the #1 seed. It's sometimes, it messes with your head a little bit, right? But Optic showing experience, and I think you look at players like Formal, Renegade now to kind of guide you through those moments. Exact Lunch behind them. They've been in similar situations, although maybe not as dire feeling, but they've also done it again this season. They've done it before. They've gone on these elimination bracket runs, so they know that it's not done. They're not out of a tournament until someone tells them they are.
That's exactly it. Not done just yet, and they're still continuing to write what could be another Cinderella story. We have Blaze on the stage here with Bound. Let's go ahead and hear from the